What's the deal, my people? You know what it is. Don Tony Teflon. I'm back at you with another one. And you know what this one is. This is from season 3 predictions, theories, video, stream. It means we're gonna go over all the whatever you want to say. What? Because we're gonna have the phone lines open again, so that you can tell me exactly what you think is going on. I could tell you if I'm rocking with you. But besides that, I will tell you all my theories and everything else like that. I hopefully Lamar can join us. She has not contacted me yet. Usually she does when she's free. If not, then it's just you and me. So let's get this thing popping. Let's say what up to the people who rocking with us. The one, the only Carla Way is in the building. John Haymaker, new member, John Haymaker. Thank you for coming, member John. Appreciate that. It's in the building. Rocking with Steve. Or Miss Duncan the Tone. Oh, my thumb fighting beauty. How are you? I miss you so much. Thank you for stopping by. Steve on the East Coast. Thank you for rocking with us. Right now, Steph Snow is in the building rocking with us. The one and only Jackie C is up in here. Why So Curious is in the building. Right. Luna is in here rocking with us right now. OW is in here. Sophie from the city is in here rocking with us right now. 08 Cali is in the building rocking with us right now. Solvents is in here rocking with us in the building right now. It's rocking with us. You know, Jesse is up in here right now. Ryan is in here. Our girl Hannah Lover is in here right now. Ty is in the building rocking. We've got so many people rocking with us. You know, I said, why so curious? But then let's say it again. I'm so pissed last stream because my phone just wouldn't get it together. Well, hopefully this stream you can let me get that whole thing popping for the stream and everything else. Let's get this thing going for you real quick and everything else. And we have the phone lines open and stuff, so you can call in. We just got a text message. Oh, it's from our girl. Yeah, 1 second. We got to get the link out to the beautiful LMR. She's coming on. Let me hit her with this link. She's supposed to just be able to come right on, but for some reason it's not working for her just to come back on. Let me send this real quick to her, and then we will continue. Sorry about this. Running a little bit behind. Little bit behind here. That puts that in there with her. And boom. All right. We'll get LMR in here in 1 second. She'll be rocking with us. Again, so I know people have been asking about Phil the Issues Guy. Phil the Issues Guy, he has been going through some personal issues. We wish Phil the best. And we want him to get better as soon as possible. Get that stuff behind him. Not at liberty to discuss anything like that in his personal life. But he knows I love him like a brother, you know, and all I want for him is to come back so we can keep the show rolling like we always do. You know what I mean? It ain't the same without Phil. I don't like taking these goddamn calls. It just ain't the same without Phil. We need Phil, right? So let's hope he gets better. And another shout out to our girl Mika, who was in I was about to say what happened to her, but was in a bad situation, but hopefully she's getting better too. You know, we're all family here and everything else, and we hope everything works out for all of them and everything else, you know. So wishing them nothing but the best and for them to come back soon and everything else. Oh, look at that. You see that, Hannah? You said it. The Beard Gang is back. It only took a week. It only took a week for it to come back. It only was going to take long. And you know what? It's a blessing in disguise, because now the other beard was all, you know, I messed it up so many times that it was bad. You know, it wasn't there like it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? But now it's back the way it's supposed to be. I am actually working on the video right now. I didn't get it done today, but when this video drops, you'll see. I will give you 100% proof that all these things that you're hearing from other people it's not the case, and that the Don Tony Teflon has got it going on. And we have the one, the only, the beautiful LMR is in the building with us right now. We're pretty small on this thing, don't you think?
We kind of like fit into those little frames in the diner. Like, you know, you can be in one, I can be in the other one, just saying hi.
We are kind of smaller those guys.
Really?
I mean, I could probably adjust it somehow, unless you like it like that.
I like it like that. I do like it like this.
All right, we'll leave it
Yeah.
there.
Well,
We-
whatever the chat says, because I'm sure everybody wants to see you properly, on the screen. But
I'm sure they'd rather see you properly on the screen than me whatsoever, 100% and everything else. Elamar got your umbrella ready. It says.
yeah,
Computer
we
says.
had a tornado warning here, and we have the tornado watch until 10. So that's gonna be fun night.
Oh my God! Yeah. Well, hopefully you're okay. If worst comes to
Yeah.
worst, you got to go inside your tub and sit up in there. You sit in the tub. You'll be safe
Oh,
in the
good.
tub.
Oh, good. It's
That's
gonna be
that's
fine.
or the basement, but
Yep.
but sit in the tub. You'll be all right.
Yep.
Everyone's saying hello to you
Hey,
and
everyone.
everything. Elamar is here, and you know what that means when Elamar is inside of the building.
Nice.
Perfect.
I love that. I love that. I love it. I love that sound. It's just all good, all kinds of good memories. So that's great.
It is great. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I can try to get it bigger if you want me to adjust it. I can adjust it. If you want, unless you
Let
think,
the chat decide what the chat
yeah.
wants.
Do we look good on the screen, or do we look too small? Is the picture too small, or should it be bigger than this?
Tony's background is like nicely blending kind of with colors.
It is
Oh,
and
somebody says
everything.
make it bigger, please.
Make it bigger. It's a little small. Let me see if I can.
Sharknado. I don't
Uh,
know if we're gonna have a Sharknado here, but
there we
definitely
go.
it was not fun. I was making a joke that I have to put my cats in that little box. They were not
Mhm.
happy, but at least it's a red box. So if they fly, I know where to find them
Now I
after the
know
tornado.
people are looking at me. You may see like that, but I'm wearing. I usually don't rock t-shirts. On stream. I usually don't do it. And people see maybe you see there's an arrow pointing up to my face, and you're like, why does the Don Tony Teflon have an arrow pointing up to his face? So I will tell you what the T-shirt says. Though I usually don't expose myself like this, but it says right here,
To see it.
two seater, and there's an arrow pointing down and an arrow pointing
Nice.
up. You know,
Nice.
because that's the type of man I am. I'm a
Nice t-shirt, Tony. I do like it. I do like that t-shirt very much.
Well, I'm not. That's the type of man I am. I'm a two-seater. Two-seater here, right here, and everything else. Right?
David says less Diner, more Tony and Elomar. Well, Tony already did that, so that's
Who
great.
said that?
Yeah. David said it's already up there, so something about less Diner or more of Tony and Elomar. So you
Oh, there
enlarged us, so that's good.
we did. So hopefully
Yep.
that does everything. Someone get Kenny that shirt. Kenny's at the time. Let's put the crawl up there for people just in case they do want to call in. Again, if you do call in order to hear LMR, you're
Mm.
going to have the radio on, the TV on in the background, right? Or whatever you're listening to. So when LMR is speaking, you got to understand it's going to be a lag. So you're going to have to wait for a shot. Let her finish, and then we'll pause it for a little bit, and then you can come in after, all right? So just understand that. There's be no other way we can do that. Put that in there. Let's put that on there. Yeah, so the number is on there if you do want to call in and talk to Elamar on the Don Tony Teflon. So Elamar, we were talking last time about things that we wanted to see in season 3 that had to happen in order for the show to be successful. We had a lot of people come on there and and say that they in the beginning of season 2 that they were losing them. You know what I mean? With the content that they were putting out there, that it just wasn't enough and everything else. It just wasn't they weren't giving them enough. Do you think that from season 2 that they answered enough questions to make, I can't say everyone happy, but to satisfy you?
There are different sides to it. I do enjoy the experience of watching it. So I am well, right now we're gonna have to wait a long time, obviously, for season 3. But I did enjoy watching it. But at the end of when it ended, I realized, yeah, not a lot has been answered for me. But again, I am a binge watcher, so I'd like to, I'd like to have it right now, kind of thing. Um, and so maybe I don't want to call it dissatisfaction, but kind of like feeling a little bit empty at the end of watching season 2, because it's, we had a great time watching it. Great things happen in general, but not a lot has been, we don't know much more than we, knew in the beginning, which was nothing. um Good stuff happened, just not a lot that
I
explains
agree.
stuff.
It gave us. It really didn't answer anything. I mean, if you really look at it,
Yeah.
what did they answer? What question that you were asking in season one did they answer this season? When you and it's really not a lot at all.
Yeah.
I mean, they showed us the inside of one of the monsters. I think that's the biggest thing reveal that they had. They showed us that the monsters can be killed. I guess
Mhm.
that would be it. And we seen the inside of them, and but seeing the
Yep.
inside, this really left more questions,
Mhm.
right? Because it looked like it was, and we had the lady who played Chrissy come on the
Mhm.
show after that episode, and she told us that it was mummified
Yeah.
inside, which I don't think she said to anybody else, right? He said it
Yeah.
mummified. So when we look at mummification, it takes
Yeah.
years. Like, don't they put those bodies like treat them in salt and then
They have to empty it out, right? They empty all the organs, they empty the brain, or the skull is empty, so they take that out, they take the organs out for different reasons, because I think they would spoil the body or the
Mhm.
tissue, like the muscle and fat can be preserved with different herbs and salts and such, but not so for probably for the heart. And since they were taking different parts, they put them in jars. I wonder if that is actually happening. Like if the monsters, when they're killing, they are ripping out the everything that's inside. Like they have nothing inside, kind of. Well, they do.
Wait a
They
second.
did. Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, Elmore. I think you may be on to something here. So
Mm,
if natural mummies
yeah.
get their organs and everything else removed, are these creatures doing removing the organs like maybe trying to restore
Mm.
themselves somehow by removing these organs? They feel that they can maybe come back to what they
Mm.
used to be.
It's, different beliefs. I mean, the creatures did have things mummified, like not in proper way because everything was dried out. They did have whatever spleen or whatever it was. It was just completely dry, minus the
Mhm.
bile, and wherever bile is, I don't, I don't
And
remember
which
where
the
bile is.
bile is used to digest things, I
Yes,
do believe,
yes,
right? So it
yes.
had, so it's shown that they are eating something. We don't
Mhm.
know if they're actually eating the people, but in order to have bile, you would think that's to digest something. So
I
something
think
has been
bile is
eaten.
released with when there's a lot of, again, people I'm sure in the chat know there's somebody who knows medical stuff, but I think bile is more bile. The more fat is absorbed, the more bile is released into the body.
Oh,
Bile is needed for that. I don't know. So, yeah, if there's the only thing that was left inside those creatures was bile, maybe that's a sign. Like, why not something else? Why not, like, a little bit of blood in the heart?
yeah. Well,
Mm.
you would think, but it can't. If it's mummified, it's basically stone, right? And that's
Yeah, it's dried out, like herb kind of thing. It's like beef jerky kind of thing.
yeah, let's take these super chats we got. First,
Mhm,
Emily says, I made it out flooded Vermont alive. It was a
mhm.
nightmare of my very own from that. I mean, listen, we're glad you are safe. I've seen these floods happening in these
Yeah.
in this United States, and it's terrible. Whether it's the heat wave, the floods, you got the other place where the ground is eroded and people's houses are falling down in California. I do believe so much bad things are happening right now across the United States. Glad that you are safe and glad your family is safe and you made it out. I have been in a flood twice,
Mhm.
a huge flood, and lost my house in one of them, and lost my car in the second one. So believe you me, I know the damage that a flood can do and where it leaves you in life after. I could say that that flood broke up my family. It had a lot to do with it. So, so it was, I know the damage of a flood, so better than a lot of people. So blessings with you, and so glad that you are safe and sound, and your family is safe and sound. Cheryl says, "Thank you for the super chat." my buddy, and everything else. How much do we think the writer's strike has to do with the change in storyline from season one to season two? Now, first, we would have to agree that there's a change in the storyline. Uh, and if they, how much, because sometimes some of these people, depending on who is writing, I don't know who's writing this show, the writers, uh, they could have had 3 seasons already written
Mm-hmm.
in the tank already. They could have had 4 seasons in the tank. I think the thing that would be the the thing that would be the biggest thing with the writer's strike would be shooting and everything else. I don't think they would start shooting because once the writer's strike, other people are going to strike, and they wouldn't want to jump that line. You know what I mean? So yeah, it would just be. I don't know if it had a lot to do with it, but if it did, then you could definitely see an effect in the chain. There is a difference between season one and season two. I think
Mm-hmm.
season one's a little scarier than this season,
Yeah.
mainly because they use the monsters differently, and the monsters to me just weren't that serious in this one. How
Yeah.
did you take the monsters this season, Omar?
That's a great point. I just when you were saying it, I thought of like for example for those of us who watched Game of Thrones. In the beginning there was a lot of like they pull in people with things that people love, like in Game of Thrones it was there was, I'm just gonna say, like a lot more like nudity and sex scenes and stuff like that. It was, I think, different. And right now in this one and From, there was more horror, kind of gore and blood and just fear. So they pulled us in with it. I really hope they're going to pick up on that, because that's what I loved about it. I not only loved the mystery but horror of it, and gore and all that blood and all that stuff. It was not like that in season 2, so I'm really hoping they were not trying to write the good not that there was no good stuff, but like the juicy stuff in season 1, and kind of slow down on it in season 2. I hope that's not the case, and if that was the case, I hope really that they will pick up and notice the difference, and people saying that there's a difference. I
Yeah,
want
it's
them to
just
pick up on that, because that's what
yeah,
I loved.
it's just that the monsters in season one, when they broke in the colony house, there was like a real threat that you felt
Hmm.
like these monsters can actually get and kill them. It's turned to season two where these monsters were not a threat whatsoever, only to Jim when he was outside underneath the house. But
Hmm.
besides that, and they did it to themselves, I think, the writers and everything, because when you had Ellis do the car escape, which the car scene was a great escape, it was shot
Hmm.
well and everything else.
Yep.
But when you see him going in there and these monsters are right there,
Yep.
literally like 2 steps from him,
Hmm.
and they still get in,
Yep.
it just doesn't make it work for me.
Yep.
You
I
know what I mean?
completely agree.
It just does not. It does not. Dave, like, can we please move the chat from her face? There is no chat by
There's
whose
no
face?
chat.
I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? There's no chat by her face at all.
Hmm.
So
Maybe it displays. Okay, I think I know what they're talking about. On If you're watching on your phone, I don't know how it is on your computer, but if you're watching on your phone, you have to click out of it. There's an X on top. I'm like tech support right now. On the right side, you have to click out of it because it covers part of the screen
oh, all right.
if
Maybe
you're on
on
the
the
phone.
phone, and that's the case.
Yeah,
But yeah, or not.
it's gonna expand when you click out of it. But Tony, to your point too. The like you were saying in the van, like the escape scene, I was thinking of, there's like less of that threat, right? Like
Yeah, because
outside in season 1, I thought you're gonna open the door and monsters are gonna like flood from nowhere. They're gonna like you can't even like crack the window because they're gonna like somehow get in. And here they can go, they can look, they can get in the car. Like last season, Father Khatri, like he stepped outside, he turned around and boom, he's dead. That's
yeah,
fear.
it chopped his neck right off,
Yeah.
and you don't see anything else go on here. It like that. Like when Elgin was in the truck, you see them tapping on the window, and then he just pulls away from them. They should have had
Yep.
one of them at least grab it,
Oh
jump
yeah.
on top of it, and he had to shake it free. You
Yep.
got to do stuff like that. And I understand you don't want to be like zombies, but you got to make these monsters more threatening.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they were inside the camper in the RV and they get out and you see them run away, no threat. There was no
Mm-mm.
threat to anyone there. At not one time did I think any of them were going to die or lives were in jeopardy at any time.
Yeah.
In fact, the only time people got were the brand new people. I mean, the stupid guy goes and shakes the monster's hand, him and his
Like,
girl.
hello.
Yeah, he
Yes.
deserves to die. You know what I mean? But it just didn't seem like the same threat. And I know that most likely they said we're gonna have a scarier threat with the nightmare stuff, and that's why we're gonna have these monsters take a back seat. But again, you got to know where your bread and butter is. You know what I mean? And the bread and butter was in those monsters. Now I
Mm-hmm.
could see you going away from them in season 3, season 4, but
Mm-hmm.
right off the bat to get rid of them by the second season and make them so that they're not really. And then they try, they tried to. Oh, they had the monster put the bar in the girl's head. Like, so you're saying like the monsters are stepping up their
Yeah.
game, they're doing worse stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that they do nothing like that again.
Mm-hmm.
Right after that, you don't see any scary monsters. They put the bar
Yeah.
through the rebar through the girl's head, and then they don't follow that up. And
Yep.
I think to me that was a problem with this season. I enjoyed the season, but
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh
thought
yeah.
they got away from what made this show really good. That they're getting away from that, and
Yeah.
I hope that they will go back to what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It felt like just to add to that a little bit more because I love the fear. I love that's my favorite genre of movies, horror, um, and gory stuff. But I felt like for season 2, let's say if I had left something in the car, I'd be like, you know what? It's dark, but I need my sweater. So I'm gonna look outside and see if I can go run and get it. And I would go, like, okay, clear, I'm gonna go outside at night and get my sweater. Versus season 1, like, I don't care if I'm dying of cold, I'm not stepping outside. That was the feel for season 1. Season 2, I probably would have gone and got my sweater if I was cold in the car.
I mean, because even when Boy went out there and confronted the monster,
Mm-hmm.
right? I wasn't afraid that Boy was
Yeah.
going to get killed
Yeah.
at all. Because the bottom line is this. If it was me, the Don Tony Teflon, and as athletic as I am, and I am very athletic, these monsters will have no chance versus me. Because I
Just like
would hit
skipping
one
around
of them
them.
in the face with a
Yeah.
brick, and then I would just run like 5 feet
Yeah.
away, and then I'd pick up a rock and hit someone else, and then I'd literally run circles right around the bastard, and they would just stand there. There'd be nothing they could do, because that's basically further. And if I had to get into a house, it would be like a cartoon. I'd make them chase me all the way to the other side, and when
And
they
then
got just about to me, I just run about the other
yeah.
side, and then they came back, I just run back to the other side again. And it would just be like that. Like it wouldn't
Yep.
be scary at
Just
all.
for sport, just for fun, just to keep yourself like
Just to
yeah.
have fun with these
Yeah.
bastards, because there's nothing unless they sneak attack you. Where was the sneak attack?
They don't
Where did we see this
they're
damn
so
sneak attack?
slow.
We see no sneak attack. There's
Yeah.
no sneak attack because we see when they carried Ellis in that hospital, they were right there when
Mm-hmm.
they
And they just
carried
walk
Ellis into the hospital.
slowly like
Right
this.
there. And
Right.
they did nothing to him.
Right.
Nothing at all. Even when Randall went outside and he started running, they just turned and walked after him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just not as scary as
Yeah.
it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? They just wouldn't be able to catch me. I played too much tag, too much Ring Levio. I'm too good in those games. Too much hot peas and butter. I know y'all probably never play games like that because y'all ain't from New York, but if you are, then y'all know what I'm talking about. I played too many of those games when I was young. Red Rover. We call Tony over. All these games I played would allow me not to get caught by any one of these mines. I would laugh at them, and I would hit them with things just to play with them. And they, God forbid, I had a
yeah.
slingshot because I'd be binging them right in the butt with the slingshot just to get them to turn around. And
See,
then
like
turn around and get them
yeah,
again.
that's the survival. At night, you would just kind of get your exercise in there, just your steps in, and then during the day you could sleep because there are no monsters during the day. And at night, just keep busy doing stuff, walking around, not falling off a cliff because it's
So
dark.
let's take this. Sean is saying, I don't think they ever got that close in season 1. They still move show, but they play one. Now, Sean, I'm going to have to hold you. We just talked about this a little bit here. Father Kotchery, they were that close. And when they got close to
Mm-hmm.
Father Kotri, the claws got longer and they cut his throat right off. Even when the Jasmine monster went after Porn Stash, you
Mm-hmm.
seen her lunge after she bit his tongue out. She lunged to get him. You seen the grandmother monster when she was outside the window. She lunged at that little girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
She lunged, her body moved
So it's
forward.
within their what they
We
can
haven't seen no
move,
lunges.
right?
There's no lunge. There's no lunge. Like they forgot how to do the lunge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's so unless they don't want to kill these people. You know what I mean? Unless there's some type of situation that we don't know about, that they're purposely not killing these people. And if that's the case, we need to know more. That would be the only reason why. But to me, they got rid of the threat with
And
these
a
monsters.
Jersey Princess says they kill who they want to. That kind of makes sense too, to some extent, that they're choosing who needs to stay. Because if they really wanted to, they could somehow, I don't know, they could, I think they could kill. I mean, what's stopping them from going inside? What are those talismans and all that stuff? So technically, who knows? Technically, the rules are what they are, but why are they what they are?
Yeah, they listen. They were fast to kill Father Kotri. Why they want him going?
Mm.
Why they want Father Kotri going? Because they
The
killed his ass
religion
with the
part?
swiftness.
No
When
Bibles? I
when
wonder.
they were out there in season one, when they were out there and the Matthews were trying to get in the house, it seemed like they was out to get them, Julie and all of them on the porch. They were
Mm-hmm.
ready to kill, and they barely got them. And that's different right there. You know what I mean? Now it just seems like they were just playing games and shit with these people.
Yeah.
I would just listen. I'd run these. I would build a car. They got all these cars and these engines that work. I would put a plow on the front of one of these cars and
I
just
like
plow
that.
into these things and just chop them right up. They want to walk over. You know what I mean? That's the way I would.
Yeah.
Hannah says here. Let's take this. She says, and they really seem to change more once Boyd killed Smiley. The one standing around looked at him confused. What? So they did. So when he killed Smiley, they just walked past him and looked down at him. They never seen one of them react like that, and then they walked off
Hmm.
right after that happened.
Do you think they were waiting for it, whoever it was, to get that, um, up, not what do you call it, when you level up kind of thing? They wanted that to happen. They looked at him and they walked off like, okay, we're kind of done here.
Yeah, I think that they got called away because the
Mm,
plan, again, if you watch my last video, please go out and check that last video. I explained it all in that video, but it was a plan. The person who had Martin infect Boyd knew that Boyd would use it to kill the Smile monster, and that would unleash the Nightmare
mm,
monsters, because that's what did it. Hey, just like when you seen them inside the RV, when something was hitting underneath the RV, they stopped because there's something else going on there. All right.
mm-hmm.
So they're being controlled by something that's higher above them. Again, they're just the tip of the spear.
Yeah.
They're not the
Yeah.
person holding the spear. So that's what was going on. They knew that was going to happen. And once that was in effect with the nightmare, they was like, all right, that was the plan. We got the nightmare creature. We got the body out there. Because whether they brought the body inside or not, that was going to happen
Yep.
with the bugs coming
Mm-hmm.
out and stuff, right? So it was already done. All that stuff was already done. They already knew what was going to happen. They got it done. And once that happened, they knew what the win was going to be. And they got the win. They got what they wanted. That's why when Sarah went there, they said they laughed at him for bringing them out. They laughed, ha ha ha. It was funny to them that you actually brought us down here and you unleashed us in the town.
Do you
That's
think that do you think that it would have happened to Boyd if he hadn't given those bugs to like, let's say Boyd had those bugs inside him and he died somehow,
mm-hmm,
due to whatever, whatever he
mm-hmm.
tripped over and got impaled on something, and his dead body would get those bugs out that way. Did it maybe they had to, like, whatever you call it, incubate, not incubate, sit there in a dead body to be released? Like, would those bugs still be out if Boyd hadn't given his blood to the monster when he
I
went?
don't think so. No, I think it was the blood that when they went into that monster,
Mm,
they formed into that.
okay.
It was in that monster. I don't think they could exist the other way around. Somehow they
Hmm.
formed into it when it was in the monster. Thank you for the super chat. Angelina, we truly appreciate it. Says for the from coverage, I truly appreciate that. Again, you can call in if you want to call in and talk some talk. If the numbers on the crawl, it is on the crawl, I do believe and stuff. It is
Yes, it is.
518-290-0848. If you want to call in, we'll take your call live. If you have a question, for me, a question for LMR, again, you have to listen to it live while LMR answers. So please don't just jump in there, and keep your phone down on the background so that we can't hear it. You know what I mean? But just put it to your ear or something so you can hear it, and then ask a question. That because it's going to be a delay when she answers. I'll answer live right on the spot, but it'll be a little bit of delay for her because of the technology until I get it figured out. Well, I'll figure it out eventually. Don't worry about it. And everyone. But thank you, Hannah, for the question and everything else. People saying it's hump day. Is it hump day?
Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so.
that is a hump day.
It's
Yeah.
my day off, so it seems like a regular day.
Today's a long day for me. Actually driving into work, so
Oh,
I'm done. It's over. It's done. I'm glad it's over. The day is almost
I'm
done.
glad
So
it's
good
over for
ending
you.
of the day.
I'm glad it's over for you too. Kind of. Tony, do you think they will ever show the alien? Of course they will. They already have shown them. They've shown them already, man. Wait till my next video, and I will explain all that in my next video. It's halfway done right now. I could have probably finished it off tonight, but I wouldn't be able to do the stream if I did it. But it really is my fault because I do so much on my day off that it's hard for me to do everything. But I'll explain to you the whole thing tomorrow. And when I drop the video, I'll get it done tomorrow and drop it on Friday morning and stuff. So, but you'll have it right there. Cheryl says season 2 has got you lost. If it has you lost, then please, that's when you call up and you ask the question, and we got it for you. You know what I mean? And yes, it is aliens. There's no doubt about it. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm not worried about the magic that people think it is. I'm not worried about the Greek gods that people think it is. I know people that they said it was leprechauns. I heard some people
Wow,
say
everything.
it was fairies, Tinkerbell and shit.
Mm.
Yeah. It ain't no
I don't
pixie
know.
dust
I don't know.
being dropped on this thing and everything else. That's not what it is. So it is what it is and all of that. Y'all will see what it is when it's all said and done. Yeah, I'll drop the video and y'all see. I have everything out. We'll take this question right here. It says, "Where was Victor after the massacre? He was gone for a day or so." So, if you're talking about this 2 massacres Victor was involved in when he was a child, he was inside of the place that Jade seen the vision, and the second one he was in the faraway tree, supposedly hiding out in the tunnels, waiting for Tabitha. So
Yep.
that's where Victor was on both attempts and everything else. Kawan says, do you think Boyd's related to the Civil War soldier that shot at Jade? What do you think, Elmar? Do you think that Boyd is related to the Civil War soldier that shot at Jade?
I think you mentioned the thing about blood and how blood plays such a big role in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that as a coincidence. There may be um, just relatives in some way. Maybe there's something in them that um, whoever keeps these people in Fromville, something about them, about either their blood, their um I guess relatives, or not just relatives, like what we call ancestors.
Yeah.
Not going too far, but past generations. So I think there's a reason for that. So yeah, I see that there can be relations.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that the guy who played the Civil War soldier is Boyd's actual stunt double. Right?
Oh.
He does all of his stunts. All right. So, but as for the fact, is he related to Boyd specifically? I can understand why people would think it, but again, I've heard people, say Elgin was Fatima and Elsa's kid. Why? Because he's black. So now we have a Civil War soldier who was black, so now he's related to Boyd. So all the black people that we show are just related. Everybody. How come no one's saying the bus driver is related to nobody? How come the bus driver isn't Boyd's great auntie's aunt? Huh? How come that? How come she? Why can't the Civil War soldier be related to the bus driver? Why can't it be her relation? I mean, if you're gonna connect all these black people together, how come she ain't no one showing her no
I
love?
wonder if they meant the military part, but didn't she have like didn't what background did she have? Didn't she have something
She had
to
graduated from some school.
from? Yeah, but I wonder like what her major, if she mentioned her background, like actual schooling was in. Maybe that's what they meant by boy, because military experience. I don't know. There are families that are military families all the way back, as far back
Oh
as you
wait,
can.
let's go, Sean. Let's go with Sean's saying here. Here we go. Sean, why do you think the bus driver was the only one to recognize the nursery rhyme? Listen, she recognized the nursery rhyme, and Elgin heard the nursery rhyme. You know what that means? That means that the bus driver is Elgin's second cousin's uncle father's aunt. That's what it means. That's what it means. There has to be. They're both black, so they got to be.
Oh goodness.
They're both black.
Oh.
But as for in all seriousness, why do I think the bus driver was the only one? I think that me personally, I would say that really thinking they wanted to give her something. They wanted to give the actress something. They wanted to give the actress some type of role. They needed a line for her, so they gave her that line. I don't think it could be anything else. I mean, it could be other things. It could be more to it. But to me, when I look at it, I think they said, hey, let's let her say it. Let's say that she said it. To the writers, it made sense that she was the one who knew it. She was the one. They could have given the same line to Tilly, but I think they gave Tilly enough. But they didn't really give her a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, I think that's what it is. Me personally. It's
the comments here are hilarious. But only on my mama's side. John says here.
You're all black people related, goddamn. You're all related.
Oh goodness.
We all related. Everyone is related and everything else. That's just the way it goes.
But I am curious about their relation, like if there is some kind of, in general, something linking the people that are in there without them actually realizing they're linked somehow, besides the obvious two that we have, Christy and her fiance.
We would have to see if there is any more relations. I don't think so. And I've heard things and everything else. Hannah says, so did the monsters kill everyone when Victor was little, or was it Christopher? And what the fuck happened to Christopher? Could he possibly be Martin? So we go through them. Let's take real quick at it, one at a time. It was Christopher who killed everybody. There was no monsters that we know about at that time. We didn't hear anything about monsters. Victor didn't bring up monsters. It was Christopher who did it. That was my prediction back in season 1. I told everyone that it was Christopher that killed those people, and I didn't have his name, but I said it was that the guy that did it. So he did it, and I think that could he be Martin? I don't think Christopher is Martin. I don't want to. Martin's name is on there's a name Martin that's on the poster for like the people who got in the inhabitants. So it does seem like there was at one point a real person named Martin. Doesn't mean that was really Martin that Boyd was talking to that was chained up. Again, let's go by what we've seen. When we seen Randall and we seen Julie and we seen this crackhead chick handcuffed to the wall, none of them were physically in that room.
Yeah.
They were all somewhere else. So if that's going, the calls will go into voicemail. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. We do have some voicemails here. Are these today? It shouldn't be. Let me see if I have to check this browser thing again.
I'm gonna try to call in. Let's see.
Yeah, give it a shot. Try to
Yeah.
call and see what's going on. I don't think it should be. It should be good.
What's the number again? I did not write it down. Oh, there we go.
518-290-0848.
Okay.
We do have. I'm not hearing nothing.
It's ringing.
There you are. Got you.
Yeah. So
Works perfectly fine, right?
Yeah, it works fine.
I see. People don't know. They're just making stuff up. It just made it. Yeah. So yeah, when you see that crackhead chick and all of them, they were all physically weren't there. They were somewhere else. So it could be the same situation with Martin. That his body, he was somewhere else. He truly wasn't physically there. Because that's what they showed us. So that's what it most likely it had to be. So it doesn't mean that that was actually Martin. Now again, we've seen people get possessed in this show. We've seen Sarah get possessed in this show, right? 2 different times. We've seen her get possessed. We've seen them take over, write something in her arm, and then we've seen them force her to draw the picture for Father Kotri, right? So there is possession. So Martin could have been possessed when he was talking to Boyd, and it could have all just been a scheme. As for the music box is really just some type of the music box is just some type of counter, I guess. It's some type of countdown situation that controlled something. I mean, it's hard to explain why it had to be in the music box form or anything else, but something else was going on and stuff like that. Priscilla, beautiful name, Priscilla. I love the name, Priscilla. Then I think Eloise got to escape and got to the faraway.
There we go.
Now someone's calling. I think this is our friend here. Listen.
Call from.
Said my ways.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
What's going on? You're rocking with the Don, Tony Teflon, and Lady Elamar. Who are we speaking to?
Call from.
Said my ways.
There's a background noise.
All right, so we're gonna English, and then we're gonna again. I think they keep hanging up. They're calling and then hanging up, and then calling and hanging up.
They're testing the line. So we see that line is working.
Yeah, gonna answer the phone and hanging up. You're hanging up too quick. You gotta let it ring. You gotta let it ring. I mean, I hear it ring, and as soon as I answer the phone, and then all of a sudden they're calling from a different line, same number from a different line. I don't know, Elamar. I don't know.
That's all right. People, it works. We found out that it works. You just got to be a little bit patient so Tony can pick that. Pick it up.
All right, here we go again.
Yeah.
Call from.
Me bad from me bad.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
What's going on, KP?
Listen, I'm out here, having a nice time. It's a nice Wednesday.
It's hard to hear. You got to speak up. I can't hear you.
I still having a nice time out
go.
here in these streets. Tomorrow's a nice little holiday, so I'll be in my house. But listen, I have Elamar. How are you? What's up? What's happening?
I'm well.
You're looking good. I hope you're feeling good. You know what I mean? Hope everything is good. Listen. So I have this. I was gonna call it a theory, but it's actually a fact. All of those monsters were people that Christopher killed, and by killing them, he trapped them in Fromville forever. And when this whole thing ends, they'll be set free too. Bang, bada, bang, bang. What do you think about that?
All right, look, Elamar, you want to answer that? Do you believe that every one of these monsters were killed by Christopher?
I'm not sure about that. I don't think that's the case exactly because we do see bodies laying down. So unless those bodies later, rose and hid in the tunnels there, maybe then. But so that may be the original people. I don't know if Victor actually was trapped there or he just stopped by for some, to spend some time in that town. I don't think he was trapped at first, and then he was trapped after. Definitely. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I don't think they were all them because they got the period the period
Mhm.
clothes doesn't match up for it to be all killed by that guy. I mean, they got people here from the 1950s with the milkman costume. So I just don't think.
So you think people didn't have milkman costumes in the 1960s,
I
1970s?
don't think they
Yo,
had that same.
that was still
I
a
don't
thing in the
think they had that
1970s.
same costume in the 70s.
That was still a thing. That was still a thing. I wasn't around, but like I'm sure that was still a thing. I've seen TV shows. So listen, you call me out if you want, right? But I will put $5 on it. That at the end of the show, like those old monsters, you're gonna realize that they're also victims.
I'm not saying that they're not victims, but I'm not saying they're victims of Martin.
I think they're all victims of Christopher. No,
Christopher.
I mean, it could very well be that they're not all victims of Christopher, but they're all people that were killed inside of Fromville violently.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll chat about that. Let me close the phone line down because we got other people calling in and want to get other people on.
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that. So y'all have a good night, and I'll probably call back later with more tomfoolery.
Yes, sir.
Always fun to hear from KP.
100%. Now, dealing with what KP has said, I do believe that it's quite possible that Christopher, I don't think all the victims are Christopher's because, this is the costume, the time period. It wouldn't be the same costume in the 70s as it would be in the 50s. Fashion changes really quick, and so does outfits. You can look at people that wore outfits in the 80s. They don't look like the outfits today, whatever job it was. If you look at the UPS man from the 80s outfit, it's not the same outfit right now that you see the UPS man wear right now. So,
do you think it was the town? That town was kind of stuck back in that era because it's so out
could
there?
be. Let's take this call.
Call from.
Check my waves.
To accept, press 1.
What's going on? You're rocking with the Don Tony Teflon and Lady Lamar. Who are we speaking to?
Do you think it was a town? That town was kind of stuck back in that era because it's so out there. There's a delay. That's us. That's our voices.
Call from.
Check my waves.
I know. I'm trying to get them. They're not talking. All right. We'll take this next one.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to explain how to have it go.
Call from.
Manline.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
We're gonna hang up on man line because this number one, it was a fake voice that came in there and said it, and it seems like someone's trying to be stupid with it.
It's like the time.
Like if you're gonna try to troll or say something stupid, at least have the balls enough to do it on your own number, in your own voice.
It reminds me of being like a teenager and like doing the prank calls and stuff, hanging up. Like, okay, I wonder how old that person is.
What do you want to say? So, hey, Tony Teflon, how thick's your dick? You want to say something stupid? Is that what you want? Is that really what you want to do? Look at him talking about Tony Teflon's dick. Listen, is that what you want to do? Is that what you want? Come on, man, grow up. You know what I mean? Come on. We were here trying to discuss something here. Fucking man line. Really? What thing is that? Come on. Be serious here. So again, I think the problem with the woman who called before that was actually making a legitimate call was that she was listening too hard on the on the screen. So she was all the way back. Because by the time I answered, it's at least a 2 to 3 second delay. You know what I mean? So we could hear us answering the phone on it. So I think that she was so far delayed and not listening to the actual phone call itself.
Yeah.
So you have to listen to the phone call itself. You know what I mean? More than listen to the screen. I would only listen to the screen when LMR talks so you can hear her. But besides that, I would listen to the phone call on your. Then you could hear us on that. I think it would be better if you did it that way. All right, let's try to take another call. Let's see.
Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
You're rocking with the Don Tony Teflon, Lady Lamar. Who we speaking to?
Hey, this is CA from the chat. Hey, Tony.
You are we can't hear you at all. Is there any way you can get closer to the phone or raise the volume up?
Let's see. What about now? Is
Yeah,
this better?
yes, much better. We can hear you.
Okay.
Who are we speaking to? What's
Perfect.
your name?
Hey, you can call me CA.
CA?
I'm from the chat. Yeah.
All right, we'll go. You're in the chat as CA?
CA_1983.
All right, we'll go with you, CA. What's
Yeah.
good? How's everything?
Hey, good. Okay, so I just wanted to comment on what you said about Christopher, about how no one probably, or there wasn't monsters or something like that before Christopher, but that one episode where Victor had Jade play the violin to play the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star song.
Yep.
So that because he said it reminded him of his mom, because his mom would tell him to think of the song when they would hear the people screaming. So there had to have been monsters beforehand.
Well, we don't know if it was from, he said from the people screaming. Now we don't know. When she told him to hide inside of that spot, she didn't tell him to hide from the monsters. She told him specifically to hide from Christopher.
Or he doesn't know about.
That Christopher was going crazy and hide here, and she was going to go save the children at that particular time. So these screams that we heard, we don't know if those screams were coming from monsters or were they conducting experiments and he heard other children screaming and this is what was going on and she heard the experiments being conducted. So it can be taken both ways. I understand what you're saying, but we don't really know for sure if there were monsters at that particular place at that time.
I guess I can see what you're saying, but I don't know. It just doesn't make sense as to why his mom would want him to think about the song.
Well,
to give him comfort.
Right. Let's put it like this: when we did see the monsters for the first time, right, with Father Cotchery, Boyd, and Donna, right? That's the first time that we know we've seen them. They were hiding out inside of holes in the ground. Because they had no talismans to keep the monsters out. So from what we've seen about Victor and everything, we didn't see them hiding out in no holes or anything like that. So if there were monsters around without talismans, they all would have got.
Well, we don't know actually that they weren't hiding. We haven't really seen too many scenes with them having to hide. The only scene that we really see is him coming out of that, is Victor coming out of that cellar. And it's like, well, why would you be hiding in the cellar?
But we did see the picture of Victor walking by in the daylight with the tail and people just hanging out by cars taking pictures in the daylight time, right? So there would have been none of that if those monsters were coming. And they no longer going to be happy about that. Hey, we're happy in the daytime, but when the sun goes down, it's time to hide. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, well that's all I had.
Oh, thank you.
I'll let someone else call in.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you, guys.
Truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
And that's a good point with that too. But yeah, I think it's just the fear was from something else, probably.
Yeah, I think it could have been from Christopher, these people, these experiments could have been running on these children, and this is what could have started the monsters. I believe the killing of everyone in the town, everything else. Again, Victor said when two cars came to town at the same time, that's what broke everything. It was that symbol that broke that. That's it. It's done. I just figured it out right now. It's a done deal. I'm 100% correct in here, and yeah, I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to have to put this in the video that I'm making right now, but it's the truth. It's the truth and everything else. And I just figured it out right now, live on the stream with all y'all. Thanks for everything else. Tim, thank you for becoming a new member. Let's take this call and then I'll give you exactly what's going on.
Call from
Sherelle from Boston.
To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
What's the deal? You're on with the Don, Tony Teflon, and Lady Lamar. Who are we speaking to?
Oh, this is Sherelle from Boston.
What up, Sherelle? Boston.
Oh, can you guys hear me? Yeah, Boston.
Oh my God. All right.
I didn't like that at all, Tony. Boston and New York, we have a definite rivalry. Yeah. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, we do. You're right.
Anyway, How you doing, LMR? Hope you're well.
Doing well, thank you.
I'm so glad I got on this line because I have the question. I've been dying to get this question answered. What confirmation do we have that Christopher did those killings? I have not seen nothing confirming that yet.
I do. I haven't. I just thought of it too. I'm gonna have to put it in.
What is it? Please tell me.
But I know all the other YouTubers who are just in the background, not listening and not actually in the chat because you want to hide and stuff and everything else. And I said, you don't be if I see it, your shit pop in your video, I'm gonna come at you. All right, so this is what I think it is. And I just figured it out right now when we talk to other thing. So Christopher, we know that Christopher did it because Victor's mom hides him from Christopher. She brings him in and specifically says, watch out for Christopher. We heard Victor say that Christopher went crazy, right? He's the one who went crazy. And what drove him crazy was the symbol, that jade seed, right? That's what drove him crazy. We then seen the symbol of why jade seed the symbol, that it was a sacrifice to the children and the children were looking up at the symbol. So 100% Christopher was doing the sacrifices to the kids. He was the one doing it. And that's the symbol. That's why so when he says, oh, that symbol drove him crazy, that was a symbol that was above while he was sacrificing these kids. It was him. He was the one doing it. He has something to do with this whole situation. And that's why it says, oh, the symbol drove him crazy. Symbol didn't drive him crazy. Somehow, one of these kids were able to possess him at some point and take control of him, and that drove him crazy. It wasn't the symbol itself. The symbol did not do that. You know what I mean? That is just what it is and everything else, So without a doubt, it would have to be Christopher who did it, and Christopher was the one killing these damn kids. He was down with this whole shit. I can't see it going down any other way. And as for this person in the chat, what is your name? I mean, because you want to be let me highlight your name.
Thank you, Tony.
No problem. No problem. Not we're still talking, right? You're not getting off, right?
No. I'm here listening.
Right.
I'm listening.
The CEO, what is that? CEO cop, bro. You have an off the wall theory with no evidence calling the fact. Please, you see the phone number, man. Please come on. Give me a call.
That's not true, Tony. You know what? You've been right a lot. You've been right a lot.
I thank you.
You have been right. This is why everybody's here right now, because you do have you be right a lot. We're listening to you.
Yeah,
we're listening to you.
It's not the symbol that drove him crazy. The symbol was what the kids were looking at. Victor,
I believe that.
Yeah,
I just never really remember where we got any confirmation that he murdered those people. He did that massacre.
All we know from that, Victor's mom that night said, hide in here, Christopher's crazy. Don't let Christopher find you. So she didn't want her kids to be found by Christopher, right? Therefore, if we look at the symbol again, and we seen that was what the kids were looking at, and we put this 2 and 2 together, she was trying to hide her children from Christopher, so Christopher must have been killing these kids. It had to be him. That's why she was trying to save him from him, because he was after the little kids and doing these tests or whatever it was on the kids. That's why she was like, hide from Christopher. You got to hide from him, because he to them, he was probably nice, playing with the mannequin, the ventriloquist with them.
I can see him wanting the kids.
You know what I mean?
That makes perfect sense. Yeah. That makes perfect sense about him alluring the children.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, here we go. He's now, this ventriloquist guy is killing kids, so now he's crazy. Right? Now he's crazy. It would seem crazy, but it was all just a ploy because he was down doing all these experiments all along. That's what happened. Now, I guarantee you, I just figured this shit out right now. And I guarantee you that's what it's going to be, because it all fits. You know what I mean? It all fits.
Good looking out, Tony Teflon.
That's what we do, right? Elma, that's how we do it. Right? We think these things through and everything else. So, yeah.
Take care, guys.
You too.
Thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Good stuff in the chat. That interaction with everyone here, sparks different ideas and theories.
It does. That's what it's
Yeah.
all about. But I mean, if you look at the whole situation, that's what it seems like happened again. And then I think that the creatures are manifestations of, as Sarah said, when we looked at the creatures and everything else, we seen she said her brother was scared of the bugs, and now the bugs came to life. So maybe some of those, like if you look at what is this for? But if you look at how can I say it? All these creatures, most likely they are somebody else's manifestations, right? Who's seen those bodies chopped up like that when they walked out? There's only one person that we know seen them, and that was damn Victor. So
Yeah.
if Sarah's right, and she said people who die as manifestations to come to life, why wouldn't that be Victor? His manifestations, that the people who look like they are innocent and here to protect you, all of a sudden are monsters that he thought this one guy was. Let's take this call.
Call from
Almighty Lord Soul Taker.
to accept, press 1.
What's going on? You on with the Don Tony Teflon, Lady Lamar? Who we speaking to?
Almighty Lord Soul Taker, what's happening?
What's going on, man? What's going on? What's your question? What you want to talk about?
Nothing much, man. Appreciate the show, first of all. And then I wanted to point something out. I don't know if I've ever heard you talk about this, but in the title screen, there's a set of people, the characters in the show, and then there's a forest behind them. But if you look in the sky, it's either a giant eye or a spaceship in the sky.
Where is this at?
This is in the title screen for From. It's the title screen where Boyd is like turned to the side looking towards the screen, and they got some of the other characters in the background.
So it's the picture.
Yeah, it's a picture.
The picture for like the advertisement.
For like the title for From, yeah.
Yeah, let me see.
I'm looking too.
Let me see. Let's see. Season 1. Let me see the poster. It would be the poster for it. I know which one you're talking about, because I have a picture of it right now. I don't know if I can share it. So let me pull this up. It's bigger. So you're saying that we're at the top of the screen. It shows Boyd looking at the screen there. It shows.
Yeah, there's the forest in the background, and then there's basically like a reflection of the forest in the sky. But when you add those two together, it's either a giant eye in the sky or it's a spaceship. It's close.
Okay, I think I got it. And it says on the bottom, it says epics, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he can hear me. I realized.
He can hear you, but take it. Okay. So it says From. It says From, and then epics on it. It's Boyd is the picture. Then it shows the road going downwards, right? And then that. So I'm just trying to see where he would think that would be the eye in the sky or the UFO. I'm trying to see, because it must be the two lights on the top. Is what he's talking about.
When you put the tree line from the forest, it's like a reflection. You put those two together, it's a reflection in the sky.
Tree line from the. I gotta look at it. You gotta tell you what, and you know what? Can you if you email it to me? Not email it, just text it to me on Twitter or something. Then I could see it actually, like circle what you're talking about, and then I'll bring it up on screen and you can come back on and call. Can you do that?
I don't use Twitter. Is there a different way?
Yeah, Facebook, Teflon TV on Facebook.
I don't use Facebook.
And Instagram too.
Tony's everywhere.
I'm full with the Instagram. I'm trying to think. I know you want to give out your personal stuff.
Well, I'll put in the chat. I'll put my email address on there if that helps. You want to just email it and just search what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Then, as soon as I get it, I'll say I got it and come back on, and we'll put it pulled up on full screen and take a look at it.
That'll work.
All right, brother.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
You too.
We'll get
That's
to the
a cool
bottom of this
picture.
one. We'll get to the bottom of this one.
Yeah.
I'll put my email address in the chat for you. You can send that to me, and then we'll get them back on here and everything else, and all that good stuff. But what about this guy who was running his mouth in here, talking about that? I don't know what I'm talking about and all that. What happened to that cat and everything else? And I don't have no facts backing up my stuff.
Tony definitely does know what he's talking about. He has years of experience
Yeah, I
in
mean,
this kind of stuff.
again, so when it all goes down to it, listen, as if this guy, and I do believe now, without a shadow of a doubt, that he must take this call, man line again. All right, let's listen to it. This makes me laugh.
Okay, let's see what's up.
Call from
Manline.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I
Call
wonder.
from
Jesse Rivero.
Okay.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
What's going on? You rock with the downtown Tony Teflon LMR. Who we speak to?
Hi, Tony. Hi, Lamar. This is Jesse, the voice of 613 again.
What?
I gotta tell you. Oh boy, they're coming for you today.
Let them come.
um,
Let them come.
I have two questions that have been bothering me a lot, and I don't know what to make of them. One is, how could Victor survive the night of the massacre simply in the cellar? Because it's not that far away. We saw that when he came out, there were bodies all over the place, especially right, because I went back and I looked, and there were bodies right in front of the cellar, like 3 or 4. So it's not like somebody could have passed by and missed it. And also, Julie survived in the cellar the night of the massacre without a talisman or anything. So is there something special about the cellar? Or
I don't know if we could say it's anything special, or they just missed them. They just didn't go down. LMR, what do you think when dealing with the cellar? You think
It's a strange thing. It's a strange thing. Wasn't there a body stuck by the boulder there somewhere too? So something is going on over there. There's too much. I mean, the door is like right there. It's not covered. It's at the angle. So it's not invisible. And definitely, if the bodies were outside, one of the people in panic, they might have tried to get in there. It's not like it was completely locked. I don't know if it was locked from the inside. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just giving her a chance to answer because I know you're delayed. Did you hear what LMR said?
No, I didn't at all.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, so she must not have the show playing in the background, so she can't hear you, LMR. I'm not going to repeat everything.
That's okay. What's your opinion on it, Tony?
Exactly. I don't know if there's something special about it. I just think it's overlooked. I think it's just an overlooked spot that that people just ain't going down. Just like Victor's little place where he had his store, where he's doing his drawings inside of the what was it, container, right? Yeah, I just don't think people looked in there. He's been in there. He must have hid out in there and stuff. But I think they don't search everything. They almost, when we looked at Jim and them down there inside the house, they would have made it if that dude didn't open his mouth. They wouldn't have found him down there, right? And they specifically said just cover it up and make it look like there's nothing there. So they're not bloodhounds. They don't have extra, noses that can make them smell stuff or hear stuff. It's just if you make noise and they come for you, they do. So I just think it's a hiding spot, and they were just able to hide down there.
Also, that makes sense. It could be because we know that, in episode 8 of the first season, Donna and Ellis and Boyd and his wife are hiding under the ground with Father Catherine. They're like talking, and you could actually hear the steps are closed. So they definitely don't have like special vision or special hearing or nothing like that. That's for sure. The other question I wanted to ask that it bothered me so much is the scene where Tabitha and Victor are hiding in the truck, and they start hearing
like metal, like sound of metal, and it's just like making a big noise. And then when it comes around, it's Boyd. I kept rewatching it, and I don't know where that noise is coming from, because I mean Boyd wouldn't make that noise, I would think. And there's no metals around the track; it's just grass. So did something like cross the truck, and then Boyd came after it? What was that noise?
I have to
I don't
go back
remember.
and look at that scene specifically that you're talking about. I can't remember it right offhand, though I remember a lot. That one I do not remember.
So
I'm
I
sorry.
wonder if she meant it like right before
No,
Boyd
I know
came
I'm
in.
the expert, but I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I don't remember that one.
No. Oh no, it's okay. I understand. Thank you guys, and thank you, Alamar. You guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Good
You
night.
too.
Thank you.
You too. Bye.
And let's say we have a super chat here. Let's take that super chat. Thank you for the super chat. We truly appreciate it. It's from R.S. Smith, and it says, "Love your lives. Without your explanation, I would be lost." Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you joining us every week here. Let's take this call. This is Man Line again.
Man line. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I don't know why he keeps trying to do it. I don't know why they keep trying. I mean, they keep trying. They keep trying.
And if they are in the chat, they can say hi.
They're
That's it's
definitely in the
them.
chat. I mean,
Let us know if you're trying to get here and you can't.
No, it's them. Listen, it's them. It's not going to cover this at Man Line.
I wonder why I would say that. But yeah, if you're in there in the
Because
chat,
they're
and if
perverts.
it's not a
That-
prank call, let us know you're trying to get in here and you're having issues.
No, it's a pervert. I remember one
Yeah.
time we had a team build. You know team builds, all right? People do team builds with your group people and stuff.
Nope.
Like, all right, so like a team build is when you work at a job and then everyone in the job goes out to like a bar together or a restaurant together to get to know each other better, so they can become more of more of a team.
Okay.
Right. So I remember one time our boss, this guy Jerry, he was there and he was smashed at the bar, gets drunk. You know what I mean? And there had to be a girl, I don't know, maybe she was 16, I would say, coming into the restaurant with her father. This dude smashed, and all of a sudden he just looks over sees the girl and just screams, "Show us your tits!"
Oh my god!
It's like a fucking like a pervert. It's like he couldn't control himself.
Oh
and I
my
think
god!
that this Man Line, I think that's what's going on with Man Line. I think that he's just gonna say something stupid like that, like Jerry did. You know what I mean? So, but that's what I think is going on.
And especially since they're not saying, "Hey, it's me" in the chat, definitely. So now we know.
Yeah, there's no doubt about Man. Yeah. And they're not using their right name; they're using a AI to use their voice because they're so afraid even of putting their voice on there and everything. You know what I mean?
No, I would prefer to hear that than some weird breathing on the line. So, yeah.
If I told you what people had left to Phil and myself.
Oh, I can imagine.
No, men, what they've said. Men, not women, men on these things. You have no idea what these people say. I'm not gonna go. I'm not at liberty to say it because but they said some stupid stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh,
crazy. I mean, listen, we had that one guy came in here talking about, coming here saying ridiculous things before and everything else. We had to put him in the box back, right? So I think people just think they're funny. They're really that bored at life. Like their life really doesn't matter that much that they really need to come and say stupid shit. You know what I mean? Which is just terrible. Jerry was not fired. He was not fired at all. No, he wasn't. He wasn't fired. They just let it go. Okay, so let's go. Let me tell you because he's doing it twice. Remember, the monster behind Tony was outside the RV when Donna was out there in episode 8. The cheerleader monster was outside the RV. Was she out there? Was she one of the pack that was there?
When? What's the season? Episode 8? When?
This season. Episode 8. I guess when Donna was chained to the tree. That episode.
I don't remember her. She might have been there, but I just remember others. I don't remember her exactly, and she definitely is somebody that we could remember. The way she dresses and all.
And let's just say this too again about the con. The con will be happening. Don't worry. I'll have the website out by the end of the month and everything else, and it will be happening. And again, we have actors, actresses, whatever you want to call them. We'll have them there. It's already been confirmed and stuff. So we will have the con. I don't want you to think that we're not doing it. We're doing it. It's done. It's already happened. It's June next year, and it's going to happen in Nashville. That's a done deal. So don't worry with everything else. Ooh, definitely will have that there. I hope to see you all at the con. Even if it's only 20 people, listen, I'm trying to tell you, we having it. We're having it. I don't care. I'm already committed to it. And that's just the way that emailed the poster. And we're gonna take a look at that real quick. Let's take this call. I'm gonna check my email.
Call from.
So taken.
To accept, press.
What's the deal? You're rocking with the Don Tony Teflon and Lady Lamar. Who we speaking to?
Yo, what's up, Tony? This is Soul Taker from earlier.
What's going on, bro?
Nothing much. I sent you that image
All right.
from the From poster. I wanted to see if you had received.
All right, let me see. I'm gonna try to get it right now. See if I can pull it up. All right, I have the image. You sent me the image, but it's just the point that I'm trying to highlight that you're talking about.
It's basically the negative space
from the top
where they put the words. Where they put the words from it.
Yep.
If you look, that's like an oval.
Yes.
So it's like a giant eye or a spaceship. In my point, in what I'm saying.
All right, I hear what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So it's not once you're saying it looks like one. And as for
it looks like it's close.
Who came up with the alien theory, I appreciate you showing this. And I could see what you're saying, that how it could be either constructed as an eye because it's an oval shape. And we weren't looking at this one, LMR. We were looking at a different one.
Okay, so that's a different one?
Yeah, it's a different one right here.
Okay.
I'll have to bring it up. I can't bring it up and be on the phone at the same time. I tried to do it. Unfortunately, I have to drop the call and everything else. But I do have the picture. I will put the picture on and everything else, and I will definitely bring it up. But I definitely see what you're saying. It does definitely. Why else would they do that? I mean, there's no other reason for them. They don't have to.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you. Hey, I want to make one more point about that picture that I just noticed, and you could tell me if it means something or not.
All right.
But if you pay attention, that's the trees on the bottom and the trees on the top. That's not a reflection. Those are two different sets of trees. So it looks like they made that shape deliberately.
It is two different sets of trees. You can see it now. You could definitely see that they definitely did it deliberately.
Yeah,
it's not the same set of trees on it, because there's not one to one. You could look up and down, and it would be the same exact ones, but it's not. They got that one light that's on there, and 3 people in the background, and it's weird. It's weird because when you look at it, they got Jim, and we gotta assume it's his daughter right next to him, and then they got Tabitha and Ethan, but who is the other boy that's with them?
And then there's one light on in the colony house.
One light on in the colony house, but who is that boy that they associated with Tabitha? They put by Tabitha. Why would they? Who is that boy, and why would they put that boy there? Because it should only be Ethan.
It should be.
But there's Ethan, and there's another boy that's associated.
I'm curious what you're looking at. I'm trying to find it too.
Yeah, I see him.
Let me see. I'm sorry, Elmo. Let me down.
Well, that looks like this Kenny that's right next to it.
It's too small to be Kenny. It can't be Kenny.
It looks like Kenny in his uniform.
I sent it to you, LMR. You're right. It could be Kenny in the behind. It would have to be way back the way they're doing the angle of it. It looks like he's a child, but possibly it could be Kenny in his uniform. The picture is
The
blurry.
color of the uniform, the dark hair, the hairline, kind of like shorter hair behind
I'll have to enhance
Tabitha.
the photo to actually get a good
Yeah.
better look at this picture.
But I don't want to hold you up, so you can show it to the people.
All right.
Once again, appreciate everything you and LMR do, man. Y'all have a good night.
I appreciate
Good
you,
night.
bro. Appreciate it.
All right.
Let me see if I
That
can
is really
enhance.
cool.
Yeah, let me see if I can enhance the photo and see if I can get it.
See, the thing about this, the way they have it, the trees down and up there is this other that we were looking at, Tony, the one that says epics on the bottom. It's also flipped. And I wonder why. There must be a reason why they have the same style of those posters
Mm-hmm.
with things being flipped, like as if it's that concave something that basically they're stuck somewhere. Like they had that globe or not the globe, what do you call it? Yeah, like a snow globe kind of thing. It's too much of a coincidence to not mean
It
something.
definitely. Let me take this call
Yep.
before we have a conversation.
Call from
Prince Damon Targaryen.
to accept, press 1. To send a voicemail,
Who is this
press
Prince
2.
Damon Targaryen now?
Hello, this is Prince Damon Targaryen.
You gotta talk up. We can't hear you.
Listen, all right. So I have a question.
Yes.
For you specifically, to me. You stay on this alien nonsense, right? It's all right, cool, whatever. It's a free country. You can believe what you believe in. You know what I mean? I don't agree with you, sir, but I would fight for your right to believe bullshit every day of the week. But question on even, let's say it's an alien thing. What is the purpose? What are the aliens actually? Like, what is your explanation and your theory behind what the aliens are actually doing here? Who are the aliens? Are the aliens Boyd and his crew, or are the aliens the monsters, or are the aliens some overlord that we haven't seen yet? So, and what are they trying to do with these? What are they trying to figure out? Because my theory. My theory is this is a fully human situation that where it's either a simulation or it is it's a place on Earth that has special powers or whatever the case may be, and some rich guy or some government is putting people into this simulation or putting people into this environment that they can't leave with these very peculiar ways of doing things and very peculiar nature, and they have to execute whatever they have to do there perfectly. And when they do that, they will be able to solve the guy who's putting this all together, the rich guy, the Elon Musk character, or the president of the country, or whatever. When the people inside of the simulation do the thing correctly, something in the real world will happen or will be prevented from happening. So, like, whether it is the rich guy or the person that's in charge of this whole thing is trying to cheat death, and if he gets this correct, he could live forever. Or it is that he's trying to save the world. If he gets this correct, he can save the world from whatever other thing. That's what I think they're doing here, and I think everybody who's a part of it decided to go into it, and they were chosen to go into it. And they were chosen to fit particular roles and play this game that they have to win in order for some good to happen. So that's one thing. And the next thing I would say is, if we're looking at a TV show to watch for the future, I would suggest we watch Foundations, because season 1 went, but season 3 is starting on Sunday. Season 2, is starting on Sunday, and it's a fantastic situation. It's like it's very Dune-esque, where there's an emperor and he rules over 250,000 planets and trillions of people, and there's a mathematician who's figured out an equation that could predict the future, and the future is going to be a shitty future if it is this emperor stays in charge and they start a rebellion. Like, you like it. So if we're gonna watch something else,
I
I'd
watched
recommend that.
season 1 of Foundation. I was gonna cover it last year when it came out, but I didn't get around to doing it. So we'll see what I can do if I can cover it.
What did you think of it, though? Just not to
I
digress
thought
from the whole thing, but just
okay. I thought they did a good job. I'm going to watch season 2, but maybe we'll do. I'll see if I can get LMR to watch binge season 1 real quick and catch up, and we'll see if we can come on and do some Foundation stuff also.
oh shit, do one with me. What the hell? I have time. I could do one. I could do one on season 2.
Are you trying?
Shit, I mean, you have Bill, you have LMR, or you could have me.
Are you trying to replace my partner?
No, not for this special, but for something else going forward. You know what I mean? Or we not replace, but add. LMR, you look beautiful tonight. You know, I know I can't really hear you because I have to take this thing off, but you look beautiful tonight. Anyways, you guys you discuss amongst yourselves. But the question really is, and for you, Tony, what if it is aliens? What the fuck are they actually trying to accomplish here, and who are the aliens, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, man. Later.
All right, peace. All right.
And just to quote, I was listening. Somebody said I wasn't listening. I'm Googling. I'm multitasking. I'm looking at stuff. So
All right. Let me try to answer his question. So, who are the aliens and what are they? I think that it's either one. Probably getting that. I mean, what's cool? No. Let's take the call. And I'll get back. We'll see. We'll see what it is.
Call from
Richard from Toronto.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Did he hang up? What's going on? You on rocking with the Don Tony Teflon Lady Elmar? Who we speaking to?
Hey, it's Richard from Toronto. How you doing, Tony? LMR?
Hey.
Good. How are you?
I'm okay, man. Hey, something I haven't heard you guys talk about at all. I was wondering, what were your thoughts about the trees moving and like how those power lines in the beginning with Matthews going around circles, how it was like disappearing and stuff like that. What were your opinion about these things?
Say the second part again. The power lines.
About how the power lines where the Matthews was an RV going in circles and the power lines disappeared. Do you recall that part?
I don't. I'll have to go back and look. So you say when they were going in circles and they came back, there were power lines the first time.
Yeah, the power lines specifically where the railway tracks were. There's power lines the first time around, and then like a few minutes later they go around again and it's gone.
Ooh, I need to look at that.
I look at that. I didn't catch that myself. I didn't catch that. But
I'll email you a picture. But anyway, so you know the trees moving. What's your opinion about that?
I think that the trees moving, me personally, is showing that this place is not grounded to reality. I don't think they're trees actually. So I think that all this stuff is fake. I think that though people think that this is a forest, it truly is not a forest. It's just disguised to look like a forest, so it looks natural. So I think that this is more of a laboratory type situation, and these faraway trees are teleportation devices. So you can actually move stuff around and stuff, and that's why it looks like that. Again, when we look at Tabitha and she looks outside that window, you could clearly see that in that simulation that I believe it is, that there are cars that are on top of the water. So whether that is just a production that they messed up or they purposely put that there, I do believe more that it's more a situation like that than actual. I mean, when you have Boyd say in the episode itself, so there's a little boy running around in the magical forest, they're letting you know that it's not a magical forest because Boyd is like shutting it down right then and telling you that that's what it is. It's not no damn magical forest. It's just so far-fetched. That's not the way it is, but that's what people want to believe. So that's why I think the trees are.
I mean, I thought it was maybe some sort of like a computer simulation where it's not rendering properly. That was my thought. Like it's almost like with like Schwarger's cast, or a computer where a video game where it doesn't really appear until you look at it. You know how you know what I mean in a video game, it only appears when you're looking at it.
Yes.
So that's why it's not coming out properly. That's why I think there's like errors in the simulation. That's my thought. I mean. Yeah,
I mean, basically saying. I mean, I'm saying just about what you're saying. You know what I mean? That it's really not trees. It's something else. It's more of a laboratory that's disguised that look like trees for them when they're there. And it could be a situation that as you're saying that, but it's this is a different type of simulation. This is a simulation that you can physically touch. It's just not. It's not a simulation. It's more of a matrix type situation where you can touch these things. That you can feel them. You can feel them against your skin. It's not like a hologram where you just your hand would go right through it.
Yeah, you're immersed in the reality, and I think as you pointed out earlier, I think that Jade was in on it. Was quantum computer. And I'm thinking that he may have been like put in there as a way of getting screwed over in a business deal or something. That he, instead of getting billions of dollars, they just fucked him over and threw him in the game or in the whatever this is.
Yeah, I would go with. I think this more happens in the future, and I think that the people who brought this company off him used that algorithm to create wormhole technology, and I think he was brought in purposely to help the people who are being held captive there, not the people that we see like Jade and Boyd and them. The people that are talking to Sarah that say they're being held captive, they brought him in purposely because they know that he can help them escape from their captives, and they're trying to get out also. So that's what I believe is why Jade's purpose is there, and he wasn't supposed to be there, but they're the ones who brought him there purposely.
I mean, do you think he knew that he was going to go in there?
No,
I think he was screwed over. Man.
I don't think he knew he was going to go in there at all. I just think that the people, remember Sarah, when she was communicating with these people, the same ones who convinced her to try to kill her, to kill the boy, the same ones who drew the picture of Father Katra that was watching everything, they're the ones who forced Jade and his friend in there. Because Jade actually built this algorithm, he would understand it.
Okay, and let me ask you. I'll ask you. Like, you think that Victor is the same as the boy in white, right? So,
yes.
So you saying that the boy in white is an alien or something like that?
Yes.
And what's Victor then? Is he human or what's his?
No, no. You gotta look at this whole situation. I want to you gotta watch my next video though. But I talk about all that in the next video I'm dropping and I'm still working on today. But no, they're not. I don't believe that they are. I think that they all. I don't think Victor is a human being at all.
He's either peaches, if that means anything at all. But
I mean, he can eat all peaches he wants. You know what I mean? I think that I don't think Victor or the boy in white are human beings at all. I think that they're acting like they are and they're on there like this. But there's a certain reason why they were experimenting on these children, and a certain reason why they wanted to experiment on Victor and the sister. But I talk about that more in the video.
Okay. I look forward to the new video. All right, man. Talking to you. We'll talk again.
All right, no doubt. Thank you for the call.
All right, have a good night, man.
Good night. So, Tony, a couple things about that. When you were with this theory, what if somebody? There are two sides, good and bad to this, and somebody's pulling people in order to solve the mystery, not to solve, but to break the others out, like you said, bringing people in, choosing people to get there, like Jade, who can actually solve this mystery.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. Those people, because when you look at the people who were supposed to be there were the Matthews. That's who they wanted to bring in. And then all of a sudden, Jade and them came by. Not the second car that came in. So I think that the main people wanted the Matthews in there. They wanted to bring them in there. And the second group of people wanted Jade in there. Jade specifically because he worked on this computer algorithm. I mean, I've said it before.
Thinking outside the box.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's a good it's either one or two things. You know what I mean? When it all comes down to it and everything else. It's good one or two things. Either this aliens are running tests on human beings or the human beings are running tests on aliens. It's one or the other. You know what I mean? It's one or the other. To distinguish who's doing what, you're not giving enough information. But it's one or the other. It is no doubt that they made wormholes, and that's how these people are getting around here. There's no doubt about that definitely happened. And that's the only thing you can use to explain everything that's going on. Now, whether they opened up these wormholes and an alien passed through that's too powerful, and captured all of them there, and now they're all being held captive? Or these experiments, they found the alien and they were infecting these children with these alien parasites, trying to see how it affects them. And then the boy in white was one of them. And then he escaped. And then he's taking revenge on everybody else who's done this to all of his friends and everything else. It's one or the other. There's something else is going on there. You know, it's one of those two things.
And when they're choosing these people, both sides are choosing these people, a lot of them, again, not so great at matching everyone on a bus to have the same, what do you call it, qualifications or qualities as the individual people who come in, or pairs. But like we mentioned before, everybody is going through something pivotal in their life. And I guess what is common, I'm thinking, for people who are at that at the edge of whatever they were, they're going into this new chapter. It's maybe either they don't have the drive to do something, or they're tired, or they actually have the drive to do something. So there's something about that.
Let me put this. Atius, he says, aliens wouldn't be interested in humans. Why? What would make you think? He said the whole cosmos exploration, but they want experiment on humans. What do we have to make you think that aliens would not be interested in humans? Why? What would make you think that they wouldn't be? Well, there's humans over there. We have had multiple reports of alien abductions on this planet since the beginning of time. Now, whether you want to believe them or not, millions of them, and they've reported, and they were interested in humans because they abducted them. Anal probes or whatever they found inside these humans. We've had reports of aliens picking up cows and other animals, right? So to say that they wouldn't be interested in humans, when we have reports on this planet that we live on that aliens have abducted humans millions of times, right? It's just not feasible to say they wouldn't be. It's shown that they have been interested. Even when you look at these falsities and these God stories, and people come up with Thor and Zeus and all these people, they're always coming down having sex with humans. And these are supposed to be mythical beings. They always fucking some woman. I mean, how many
people are apparently fascinating, right?
How many half babies did Zeus have? These half gods that he had.
Yeah.
All the time. So this to say that someone from the planet wouldn't be interested in humans because they're from a different, all they want to do is explore. Yeah, they want to explore everything.
Yeah.
People's butthole and everything else they want to explore.
The whole genetic stuff is like an experiment. Why not just run it, right?
Yeah, and why would you experiment on your own people when you can experiment on other things that doesn't do anything else? You know what I mean? That is just what it is. You know what I mean? That's just the way. And as for, I'm going by what they've said. And anal probe constantly comes up in alien abduction. That's what they do. I mean, I'm not making that up. This is what these people have said happened to them. Right? So obviously we know it's an important part of the body when you take people's temperatures when their babies through there and everything else and all that good stuff. So maybe this is, I don't know. I'm just telling you what it is, and that's what it is. So, and to think that there are no aliens, we're the only people in this whole entire galaxies of universes, it to me is asinine to think that we just happen to be in the perfect spot. No one else nowhere else exists. Anywhere else. No one else exists. This is impossible. Come on.
That's something that, humans might say. Some humans might say. Like we're in the middle of everything, right? Like we're yeah. Yeah. It would not make sense if we were the only ones. It would not make mathematical sense.
Anna wants to know, where is the expert that I spoke to? He's right here. Because that's what I asked him. I said, what are we dealing with him from?
Extraterrestrial.
I said, and when it comes down to these people who think about the gods and everything about this show, what's really going on?
We have all sorts of stories, mythologies, legends that could be interpreted as gods, who in reality were misinterpreted extraterrestrials.
And that's what it is. and that's the way it goes.
You said it, right?
That's the truth. I gotta deal
Boom,
with it
proof.
now. Let's take this. Who's calling back? 919.
Call from.
Just Genius, Justin Perry.
To accept, press.
Oh nope, he hung up. All right. Yeah. And all that. So yeah,
Tony, the thing that what KP was saying, I wanted to add to that, but I knew he didn't, hear me because of the delay. The whole village, kind of like the way it's set up, it made me think of the I don't know if you've seen the movie Cabin in the Woods. I know there are two, but it's the one, the experiment where they have to, and it's the science mixed with like the legends and such. They made this environment, exactly, putting people into that cabin exactly. They picked who they wanted, they chose them for whatever they needed to choose them. They did the whole whatever they did. They controlled everything, every little aspect, every thing, and the air, everything. So movies like that we do have movies like that. So if it's I think it's the Cabin in the Woods. Yeah, somebody says it here.
And when you look at as going back to this, aliens wouldn't be interested in humans. As humans, if you want to say that they're so far above us, they wouldn't be interested in us. We are interested in every microorganism that we can get our hands on.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. Microorganism. If we see it, we study it.
Yeah.
Ants, beetles, grasshoppers. We have caught, dissected, and studied anything we can get our hands on. So why wouldn't they be the same way? So that's what I would say.
And the studies, it's not such a far-fetched thing. I mean, if you think about it, just some decades ago, couple tens of decades ago, we did have experiments that were even worse on people that were, unethical, and they were done not somewhere, in some other country. They were done here. They were done like right here. Messing with people, with children. And I'm just talking about the actual ones that they admitted to. I'm not talking about stuff that they're still hiding. I'm talking about the actual stuff that's in textbooks. So if they back then did it, what's stopping some alien, race or whoever, even whoever does it, from doing it again and worse, like murdering people? There's nothing that's stopping them.
So she says again, she goes, if we encountered aliens, there wouldn't be doubt in anyone's minds. There's doubt in people's minds that Trump won the election. There's doubts in people who tell you he won the election. There's doubt in people's minds who watched the Rodney King video and said this motherfucker was resisting arrest. There's doubts in people's mind when George Floyd got killed, and I've heard people say he was resisting arrest. So I don't want to. There's no doubt. We have videotape and with people out there, and there's still doubt. People make doubt when they should be no doubt. You know what I mean? I can go through a million videos of things happening to people that's clear as day what it is, but yet someone would tell you that's not what it is. I would say go talk about the jackass and the tiger. Go that story. Listen to that story, the jackass and the tiger. And that's just what it is. So I would go look at that, the jackass and the tiger, and that's where I would refer that story to. But there would be doubt. Or anyone told you, I was just abducted by an alien, you're gonna have doubt. I would have doubt. Of course, you would have doubt. It seems far-fetched, but doesn't mean that's not what happened. You know what I mean? But it does seem far-fetched. You would have to have someone getting abducted on videotape, get sucked up into the air, and even when that happens, if someone gets you on tape, they will die
Like
the video and say the videos are fake.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Right now, anything, that's the thing. Anything can happen. True stuff. People can actually post it and like, all right, that was great. Fake, right? It's a perfect time to do crazy stuff right now because everything can be, dismissed as not actually real. So scary times.
No doubt about it. I will go check that out when I get a chance to look at that thing on episode 1. I'll definitely check that out and everything else. But see, again, let's take this super chat from Arthur. He says that aliens are only interested in man butt. The concept of fear, pain, and stress can be investigated by artificial intelligence in Frontville. We don't know if it's just man butt. We don't know that it's Felice Johnson coming down, right? We don't know if that's the case. Maybe if Felice Johnson was an alien, then we would say that you're correct. But I think they're interested in more than man butt.
And the whole thing about fear, pain, and stress. Again, there was a movie I try to like stress watch movies when I have time, and I watch a lot of horror movies. And there was, again, I can't recall what it was right now, but creatures that actually feed on fear. That it's and then there were movies. I think what was it? Not Doctor Strange. Maybe that was Doctor Strange when they were taking somebody's whatever. Like they were whoever had the gift of some kind. They were like they had to put them through pain, through hours of pain to get that, because that's the essence of it. And other movies where creatures actually are feeding on the fear and pain of people. So again, that's I think what is released, I forgot that hormone, cortisol, not cortisol, one of these is released where, I'm sorry,
adrenaline.
No, not just the fear, hormone. And one of the aliens, I think it was an alien or some kind of creature, was feeding on that actually. So that might be, they need that for something. And the war the part about war, when we saw that soldier in the beginning, why soldiers probably what do you call it, process that hormone differently, because their bodies are flooded with it. So that might be part of the experiment. Everybody is different when it comes to that.
They've experimented with soldiers with LSD, trying to make super soldier. I mean, when you hear Captain America super soldier program, a lot of these things that you think of, it's not just far-fetched. These are what people actually do, try to make soldiers without having the will and disobey direct orders. When you look at the movie The Manchurian Candidate and all these things, these things aren't just made up because someone's thought of it. This is because these things have been attempted before, and that's just the way it goes and everything. So we'll see when it's all said and done and everything else. I am confident in my theory, and my theory does address the fear situation too. In the next video, I won't say it now, but I'll watch the video when I drop it. Again, if it's not tomorrow, it'll be out the next day, Friday morning and stuff, and I'll have it all out there and everything else. So all that good stuff. But guaranteed, most likely, what I'm saying to you is what's going to wind up being. And now I have to incorporate this whole Martin situation in there too. So it's going to make it a little bit longer. But not Martin. Is his name? No,
Martin or Christopher?
Martin.
Christopher. Yeah.
Got to incorporate that in there. But I will. But it just seems like it's one big experiment when it's all said and done. And now you just got to ask yourself, who's doing the experiment? Is it human beings or not? We'll have to do the experiment. We got to see exactly what's going on. I will definitely check all that good stuff out and everything. All right, we're going to break it off because I got to wake up in the morning. I want to thank everyone for rocking with us and everything else. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for your boy and that lady, LMR. We'll be back. Again, I know I seen the question about Phil. Again, Phil's going through some personal things right now in his life. We wish Phil the best, and we hope that he comes back as soon as he gets here. We hope that he gets back, and we'll be waiting for him. As soon as he does, he knows the seat's available. He doesn't have to log on. He can just come on anytime. Phil, get better soon. Hopefully everything's working out. Contact me as soon as you can, and we'll speak to you then when we see. If you like the way we do this, please thumbs up this. Let me get this thing the way it's supposed to be so we can get this thing right. All right, thumbs up this, spread this across the room, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace
and stay sexy.